Hi, I'm Martin O'Toole, CMO of Studyum, and welcome to Stud Chat, a series of short interviews with the team behind the EdTech and NFT-Fi platform, Studyum. In today's interview, I'm going to talk to one of our original mentors and, in fact, an investor in Studyum, a chap called Peter Malachi. Peter, how are you doing?
I'm great. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. I hope you're enjoying New York. That's where you're at right now, yeah?
Yes. I'm in New York City. I've been here for the last 20 years working in luxury and lifestyle marketing across lots of different categories of hospitality, wine and spirits, cosmetics and beauty, accessories, really, a lot of different prestige brands. And for the last 10 years, I've been leading communications for Hermes in the United States, which incorporates all of the paid advertising, special events and experiential marketing, as well as press and influencer relations. So it's been a journey, and in that 10 years, we've doubled the business here in the United States and really expanded the scope of the brand engagement, brand awareness. So yes, I'm 20 years in the US, and before that I worked in London. I'm from the UK originally, and I worked in agencies, some gaming actually, fashion, and my start was in the hairdressing industry actually at Tony & Guy, which many of you might know.
I used to get
working for yes, it was really a trend leader back in the mid 90s when I started, and I worked directly for Anthony Mascolo, who's one of the Tony & Guy family and creative director, and he was actually a photographer, by passion, and shot all of the campaigns. So we did all of the model shootings and it was a very dynamic industry, and hairdressers are really creatives. They're amazing human beings, and it was a very inspiring way to start in the image and marketing business back in 1995.
So you're a very established global marketer. Do you want to just spend a second explaining what you do with Studyum?
Yeah, I met Igor through a friend who was a student of Igor's in New York City. His name is Pierre. He's French, and he was the marketing guy for Rail Europe, which is the marketing organization behind high-speed trains throughout Europe, including the TGV. And Pierre had also been involved in the launch of Eurostar. So, and Pierre just was, I have to say, obsessed with Igor and his experience of being taught by Igor at the karate club that he was a student of. And Igor had an interesting profile, global, I think a world champion in karate, and had done some TV some TV in the United States, kind of showcasing karate skills, and really, has a great personality. And subsequently, Pierre asked if I would meet Igor because he had a business idea that he wanted, to kind of just, gain some perspectives and potentially some marketing advice. So I met with Igor, and we had a couple of really, really intense, deep discussions about what he wanted to achieve. And one of those discussions took place at Karate City, which was on the west side of Manhattan. And he showed me and talked with, real emotion about the impact of training, the physical, mental, and emotional impact of teaching karate, for example, to kids with learning difficulties. And that's something that really struck me and connected in terms of, meaning and purpose more than anything else. And from there, we really, over about a year of exchange, mainly via email and chat, because Igor was traveling. He was actually in Bali, I think where you are now, and in Turkey, to start to kind of unpack the idea and to explore the potential and the possibilities of the idea. And for me, the technology mixed with the kind of trends that we're seeing in the world and in brands, and particularly in the wellness space, the education space, there were so many points of opportunity and also relevance that we discussed, and I think that was kind of quite formative for where Studyum is today, and also the broader potential for decentralized learning in general. The broad scope of opportunity and application across different segments, whether it's direct to consumer or institutional. So many different ways in which this really visionary technology can have incredible and tangible impacts on people.
Thanks. We've been talking a lot about the vision of where it is now versus the vision of where it will be once we combine all of these emerging technologies, because we've got AI, we've got smart chat, we've got 3D avatars, we've got the NFT platform, and this facial recognition software. So I was interested in your perspective on what excites you most about that proposition of this smorgasbord of amazing technologies.
Right. I mean, I think, I tried to convince Igor to kind of lean into the fact that, education should be appetizing, study yum. I don't think he really, I don't know if he really understood that, but yeah, I think that there is a huge appetite for learning, self-improvement, and also issues with access to education, and we saw that even more pronounced during, lockdown, during the pandemic, where, the struggle of at-home learning for kids was real. And the more real you can make that learning experience and more interactive, more dynamic, the better. And even, somebody like, I'm very fortunate, I have personal training on a regular basis. I really consider my health and wellness to be the most important thing in my life, beyond anything else. And I invest a lot of my money in it. And, but even with human beings, either in person or via Zoom or FaceTime, the tracking of the exercises isn't always, a priority. And even if your trainer is like making notes on what you're doing, it's not really so systematic. And I think one of the real benefits of Studyum is this idea of real, buildable, measurable, and module-based learning, where as you progress in your journey, that is recorded, and it's recorded forever. And constant measurement is something that I think that is something that can really be motivational. Actually, I also shared with Igor, this product here, Hydrate, is designed to encourage optimal water consumption. So the bottle has sensors, and the sensors send information to an app, which you can set goals, you can track your water consumption progress, and you can also compete with friends. So, you know, there are lots of drink more water, and this has been a game changer for me, based on physical and digital integration. And you know, I think it's really the future. And you know, we were talking a little earlier about how Lululemon recently acquired Mirror, which is a kind of digital property. And you know that, and in retail, you know, the balance between the brick and mortar and you know the online and omni-channel, like very seamless. And I think, you know, Studyum's technologies and design is really about creating that incredible seamless experience between digital and you know, your physical being. And I think it's really exciting. I think the potential is huge. I think you know, the reward system has massive potential for, you know, potential marketing opportunities for brands that want to get in front of certain segments or target consumers that care about learning or wellness or whatever it might be that they're engaged in terms of their education. And you know, and also the gamification, you know, the potential for learning to be fun, particularly for kids, you know. And how you bring some of that you know, awareness of gamification into the experience within Studyum. I think, you know, there's a lot of great thinking that can happen in bringing this product to market and delivering an incredible service to users.
I totally agree. And we were talking about, well, you were talking about gamification with your hydration bottle and app, and then that even if it's a subtle competition with other people who you know are using it. Hey, I drank more water than you today. The opportunity that Studyum has to offer from a gamification and an NFT perspective when it comes to earning NFTs or lumps of NFTs based on achievement, I think is fascinating. And I think you hit the nail on the head that every time we start to talk about the opportunities, all right, well, what about this? And then what about that? You get lost down a rabbit hole of excitement and anticipation, which from my perspective, it's wonderful to be involved with a project that has that. And as you say, it's a brand with purpose, genuine purpose. It's to change the face of education. It's pretty ambitious.
I mean, I was talking with a friend and colleague who's an investor in crypto, and we were talking about Cardano, and you know, there are some parallels here to explore, because you know, that's a currency that has a real mission and real vision and tangible outcomes, you know, versus a lot of crypto, which is, you know, just speculative or, you know, just currency. So I'm very, you know, and going back to Igor, you can't avoid his passion, you can't avoid his commitment, you can't avoid the results that he's delivered for many children and adults through his own expertise in karate and his ability to, you know, motivate, to, to really create that energy, enthusiasm, and engagement. And I think he'll bring all of those skills, all of that vision into this initiative. And, you know, I think he has started to understand, you know, the breadth of opportunity, but also is very focused, which is super important, you know, and that comes from his status as a world champion in karate. You can't achieve that without incredible focus and discipline. And he's systematically going about realizing this,
he's got that
dream. He really has it. So, you know, and I believe in him and his potential, and I'm really excited about seeing this project come to life. And, you know, and it's moving forward really rapidly, you know, as you know, as other apps have kind of hit the market, like the Equinox app, for example, and other examples of, you know, Mirror, obviously, lots of product, but without the added and, you know, incrementally interesting use of NFTs, as you said, and other digital technologies that, you know, will make Studyum a far superior product.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, thank you, Peter. I think I've taken up way too much of your time, but I really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. You've been a wonderful guest.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I hope you enjoy your evening in Bali.
I will indeed. Friday night in Bali.
You're a lucky man.
I'll have 2 coconuts, maybe even a nasi goreng. Rock and roll.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.